up, world? It's your boy, just one of the guys down here. Well, I could be more specific. I'm a human. And just wanted to, for the sake of all of us earthlings out there, just wanted to say, we love the earth, it is our planet. We love the earth, it is our home. We love the earth, it is our planet. We love the earth, it is our home. Hi, I'm a baboon. I'm like,
I thought that was you laughing.
my anus is huge.
Hey, I'm a zebra. No one knows what I do, but I look pretty cool. And my white on
3, 2, 1, now.
I'm a lion cub.
I was waiting for a bigger drop than that was you. I was expecting a bit of a kick then.
I forgot this doesn't drop for 7 minutes.
I'm a fat fucking pig.
I'm a common fungus.
I'm a disgruntled skunk, shoot you out my butthole. I'm a marijuana plant, I can get you fucked up.
3, 2, 1.
We love the earth.
It's still not kicking in the way I want it to. I'm expecting a bit of bass.
Yeah, it's not. It never kicks in this song. I forgot about that.
We love
Okay. So welcome everybody once again to Safe Place Podcast, and now we're going to do facts that prove the Earth is flat.
So one of the first facts is the horizon is not curved. Now, even when somebody says that they travelled on Concorde and they saw the curvature of the world, these flat earthers say it's bullshit, not real.
What are they saying then? It's like some sort of optical illusion.
Yeah, they're saying that you saw it because you believed in it. You believed that it's curved. You wanted to see the curvature. Because you went up there to believe in something, that's what you saw. Nobody has crossed the wall of Antarctica. So basically, this is another thing that they say. Flat earthers say that the Earth is surrounded by a giant wall of ice all the way around.
And no one's ever climbed over it.
Yeah, which doesn't really help their belief, does it? Well, let's just not get too biased as well. I don't like to do a podcast where we're neutral to one idea. So I'm going to speak on behalf of the
So
flat
what
earthers.
idea do you want us to have then?
I want to speak on behalf of the flat earthers. Now, when I because these are the people that we would usually put up a stupid figure of, like hillbillies talking about Sasquatches, right? And we just polarise to it could not be real. Let's try and break down their first. The curvature is a belief system. Now, psychologically, I know that there's some truth in that, because when you believe in something, like you believe that football is important, it's important to you. When you believe God is real and no one can deny you access to God, you can only see that. When you are wrong and you accidentally ego defend something, you've got a belief in you that you're right with all the actions that you're doing that aren't right.
So what you believe in creates your reality, Craig. That's what you're saying. That's where you can unite with the flat earthers, can't you?
Yes, and it's just not saying I'm a flat earther, don't need to throw any rocks at me or oranges.
He doesn't identify as a flat earther or a round earther. Craig chooses to take a step back from that world and watch it from afar, don't you?
So let's just change it now. What they're saying is that you go in a plane and you believe that you see the curvature when it doesn't exist. Let's say, does that happening? Now, psychologically, we know a belief system lies to us and makes us believe something. Could your eyes make you, if something, and let's break it down with psychology again. Yes, sometimes you've seen a spider on the wall and you've got really close and it's the hook that you hang your coat on. So you can be tricked.
Yes, you can be tricked. I was just thinking of you accidentally hanging your coat on a spider, because it was a spider, but you go, yeah, I've fought for that one before. That's where my hook is, and you just hang it on a spider. So for fuck's sake. Who knows anything about anything? Everything that we download from the media is a fucking corrupt bullshit lie, isn't it? So why are we going to believe anything that we've ever witnessed? In fact, TV is an alternate reality created to you to hypnotise you and mesmerise you into a whole different universe, to zone out. So how do we know that everything that we've ever seen on those TVs are actually real? How do we know that the Earth isn't round, or if it isn't flat? How do we know that we're not being visited by aliens? How do we know that we're not an alien experiment that's going on some island that we believe is a big round sphere? How do we know? Because the only way we know is through the TV. But look how accurate the TV is.
Now, does this defend flat earthers or argue flat earthers that are wrong? Because I know what you're saying, and we've gone there very early in the podcast. We didn't even warm up for this, but what we're saying is that
We usually do a few press-ups and some sit-ups before a podcast, which means we're warming up. The audience are like, wow, well, they warm up.
what Andrew's trying to say is, with that corrupt world that he's just explained to you really quick, and they might not understand what you're talking about, you're saying that the flat earthers are no different to neo-Nazis. They're no different to religious people. They're no different to charity workers. We all just grip onto something, believe it's true, put our flag in there and say that's the way the world is.
Let's go into this dark world of the television, because you never really think about it like this. But look, imagine that everything you've watched on the television was a life movie created to give you beliefs and perspectives that was on an alternate, fake, phony reality. That every day when you're watching the news, you're watching documentaries, science documentaries with Neil deGrasse Tyson or Brian Fox talking, they're actually all plugged into a global scam to create almost like a Truman Show.
Yeah.
And that we are on this little movie set and we have no idea.
And someone will say now, no, I'm too clever for that. What are you eating tonight? Something like Just Eat, aren't you? You're phoning up for a quick takeaway because you've just viewed it 10 minutes
And
ago.
there'll be a lot of people out there that are highly intelligent, even doctors, PhD professors, that will argue great scientific facts that prove, but where are you witnessing these people? They're all through some sort of device, plugged in. And how do we know that these aren't the paid actors in the Truman Show?
And how do we not know they all live on a flat earth, separate from us?
Imagine they carry out an experiment. These hyper beings, either aliens or really twisted humans from the future, and they...
Hyper beings are like, would just get ADHD tablets now, wouldn't they? if you
No,
called them that?
hyper beings or hybrid beings, they travel both with fuel and electricity.
What if they're a baked bean that just hyper?
Imagine
Hyper beans.
hyper baked beans like that. Look at the humans, right? So
Hyper beings, yeah, I like this.
hyper beings that are basically carrying out one of the most magnificent experiments. Imagine that all of history is a story. All of it, Craig. How do I even know that you aren't part of it, Craig? And this is where we go into delusional paranoia. Now, are we saying right there that flat earthers are delusionally paranoid? The fact that the matter is, because they've got a belief it's all a conspiracy and a scam, they question everything. Imagine if I've just gone into that psyche a little bit. I've just delved into that unconsciousness and that anxiety and fear, and I've realised I cannot trust anyone.
Exactly, spot on. And also, the flat earthers, right?
They all live with the fucking mom. I mean, that's my argument, that it's all bullshit.
They do.
They all live with their ma.
Do you know what? They've done statistics on that, and they all do live with their mum. It's incredible.
Yeah, even the ones that have died, they just live with their mum upstairs in bed, rotting, and they live there, and all they're doing is sitting downstairs going, the earth's flat, the earth's flat, the earth's flat. I'll tell you what, I'm going to call it right now. Flat earth people are fucked up, delusional, paranoid.
Now I'm going to throw something back at you. So are all the people who believe the earth is round, baby.
Yeah, because
They're
even
just as delusional.
just as delusional. Anyone that believes in anything is delusional, and even that belief is delusional.
So what about if I believe in nothing? Open-minded, there is no belief system.
There is no belief system, yes.
And it's still a belief system.
Which is still a belief system. And what does it do when you capture yourself unconsciously going into a belief system, and then you realise that that new viewpoint of it is in of itself just another belief system? You start to go into the internal fractal universe of fear, and being your ego's been knocked off its bearings, and it's becoming all fucking paranoid and afraid, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, I want to do something right now. I'm going to pretend that you are God, the creator of this universe, right? And I think that you'll be able to pull this off. Okay?
Go on.
I'm going to ask you, why do I...
Nobody asks God Any questions?
rude,
I pulled it
ignorant
off. You was rude to just appear and think you could ask me a question. You know how fucking busy I am.
I am God.
Go on then, anyway.
But the question is, why do I have a belief system? Because we know that most belief systems are fucking delusional and fuck most people up. Even having a belief system that I won't put my eggs in any basket because I'll be delusional.
We're getting a lot of messages coming in from our viewers around the world now that are starting to understand what we're talking about here with this idea of consciousness and belief. Craig, continue. It's
I
fascinating.
didn't see your phone go off.
Go on. What are you talking about?
I forgot.
So,
now.
so we're getting into the
Interrupted.
idea that everything is a belief system.
Yes, so I'm asking God now. I view God and I ask you, why do I have a belief system? It's so delusional. It's made me feel.
I'll tell you why, Craig, you have a belief system, because you lost your connection with me. You went into a world of survival thinking that this life, this moment was based upon the anxiety of death, that you are this deaf being that's going to get to an age one day, have an experience of death, and there will be no more. You've lost a connection with me, because guess what I gave you, Craig? I gave you the experience of now. I gave you the eternal unconscious dream of life after life, identity after identity, experience upon experience, and what you did, you forgot that.
Well, can I just tell you, God, I appreciate that and I think it's very beautiful, but you gave it to an unconscious little child who was brought up by unconscious little children, and fucking how was I ever going to learn it? What was the process for me learning?
Well, in the beginning there was Adam and there was Eve, do you remember, Craig? And I gave them the entire world, the entire experience of existence. And unfortunately what they did was they went against, they lost themselves with a dream within the dream of life that I gave them, and they've created through their own birthright of consciousness, a consciousness that makes them feel separate and objective from the world that they see or perceive outside of themselves.
Now, if that's true, it's definitely not a belief system, is it?
Yes, it's a belief system. Now, for me, I have no belief systems. I am.
And also, I just want to pick up, because we might have to put that alert on. What was that alert that we used to put on?
Offended alert.
Offended alert, because you said Adam and Eve. You know the rules. It's Adal and Eva. It's Adam and Steve. You've got to go through all the sexes now. You can't just...
Now you're speaking from the ego again, my friend, which proves once more that you're still lost in your sense of separation from self. I have to give you the names Adam and Eve as a symbolic metaphor to help you perceive an identity from which you identify from, to begin to understand my myth, my story. However, when you can let go of this false identity that you call Craig Powell, that believes he's an individual living within a real state of existence, it's a misunderstanding. But unfortunately, you only understand the language of stories and names and identities. Let them go, Craig. Become ever present within the moment that I've created for you from the beginning of the time, and even that in of itself is just a concept, because there is no such thing as time. It's a man-made concept that gives you some sort of orientation of our dream. Wake up now and come and sit on Big G's lap.
Oh, yeah. He's a
Pervert. God's a pervert.
Concept birth.
That's why he's everywhere. That's why he watches you all the time.
I can do this because you're not real, Craig. You're just a dream. Okay, God, I'll do it. That's it, Craig. That's it. You're having a great dream, are you?
Do you think God has a really unconscious set of parents that are just vile and has caused him to be that perverted?
Maybe, but look, the messages are coming in now. We've got some images from different places around the world where they've set up some cameras with what we're talking about here, and we're starting to realise that people are understanding now that they're letting go of their egos, they're letting go of their identities. They're not males or females, they're not humans or aliens or living organisms or scientific collections of 50 trillion atoms that form the individual person that you see in front of your eyes. They're beginning to believe that they are these infinite dreams manifesting the ability to manifest pure love. Let's go around the world. Look, this is a scene now we're getting now from the Czech Republic.
Oh,
Many
that's
people.
just so nice. That's just so
that's
kind,
it.
isn't it?
Yes.
The love that we get back sometimes. I mean, we get a few haters, but They're stuck in the egotistical world, aren't they?
Let the identity go, people. Look, we've got 2 males now that never questioned their heterosexual sexuality before our consciousness understanding of what reality is, but now they're looking into their eyes, and there are no boundaries of him and her or him and him anymore. They are about to make pure love. Look at that.
And now let's go to heterosexual people and see how they react to that.
And they're loving it as well. They're absolutely loving it. There's no boundaries, no more identity to create
you've dissolved
pain.
sexuality.
We're dissolving sexuality. We're dissolving. And there's a guy now with his
like-
fucking Alice with his dog. It's a bit of a struggle for even God, but he's going to do it. I'm happy. And there we go. The love. Even the boundary between a human not being able to have sex with a dog has been broken with this deep level of understanding consciousness, Craig.
So what we are saying is that flat earthers
Look,
and round
we've got
earthers-
more footage from America here, and there's in England.
God,
Look
it
at the
just
crowds; they're
doesn't
loving
stop.
it. They've realised that all this homophobia, this racism, this gender inequality, every perceived bit of oppression that's been going on the planet was because they wasn't attached to an identity, Craig. They've let it go. They're all one. They're all the dreaming itself right up.
have dissolved
And here we go.
everything.
Fucking hell, look at Daryl, for fuck's sake, you ugly bastard. Right. You've ruined it. Look. Oh my God, the people around the world, Craig, they're going back into their identities. Some hideous human had to come out the woodwork and reset where we were going.
Do you know what was strange? I didn't think he looked that bad. And was I already lost, or had I not
God, we
dissolved
were so
properly?
close to bringing the flat earth, the round earth, everyone on the planet together as one again.
I've got one message for flat earthers and round earthers. Just why don't you get together and make babies? Do you know what I mean?
Make babies, yeah,
And
make
cut
good-
off your genitalia. Cut it right off.
What, after?
Yeah, after.
No, what I want to see is you cut it off beforehand and then make babies. That's going to be interesting. That's where we're going to sit back that's where we're going to sit back like the hybrid hyper baked beans, watching the experiment because we've confused them. You want to prove the Earth's fucking flat? Then flat earthers. Well, guess what? This is the task. I want you to cut off your genitals and then have kids,
And by the way,
biological kids.
if there's an internet
I
website
think they can
out there
still
that
do
already does that, we'll put the link on the bottom of the page right now.
You know what you got to do now. You know what you've got to do.
Cut off your nuts.
Cut off your nuts, yeah. That's how you're going to prove to me that the Earth's flat.
That's it.
And we're single-handedly wiping out all of the crazy, borderline psychotic people out there that believe the Earth is flat. Flipping the argument, realising that everything that we've ever seen on every media, that we can't trust anything. We can't even trust the dream itself. All we can do is believe in the sense of self that you have that doesn't have an identity attached to
I
it.
really want to pass this message across
Come on.
because you know what? You see people sometimes get ridiculed for what they do. Have you ever seen that people that roll your eyes or laugh and patronise anybody who's got anything different to bring to the table? Somebody who can talk a little bit slower, somebody who can actually have a stutter, and when they're turned, you can take the piss and be a dark, sort of horrible, nihilistic
And what we want to do is we want to find a way of loving everybody so that doesn't exist anymore.
Remember, when you laugh at the flat earthers, you're laughing at people with round earth
Just
beliefs.
love each other, man. That's all we've got to do now. We've just got to find ways of loving each other. Loving the paedophile before he becomes an abuser. Make him feel safe. Make him feel like he can be accepted by the world and work through his unconscious feelings and impulses. Make him feel human because he is ultimately, I'm not even going to use the concept human, he's the divine dream dreaming itself up. We've got lost in a state of consciousness that separates ourselves from one another, and we're lost in it and we're attached to it, and it's bringing out all this shit, man. It's got to stop.
A divine dream that is dreaming itself up. If that was ever a song to
It's
be written,
beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful.
lovely.
And murderers understanding that they lack empathy. Why do they lack empathy? They never
Just
choose to
love
lack
murderers.
empathy. They never chose to lack empathy. So they've got something that they've actually carrying out behaviours based on their biology, their neurology. And what happens is we condemn them and we want to kill them, which means we learn nothing about them. Imagine if we sat down and we had a heart with them and we wanted to understand them and support them and help them through the pain of the people that we've lost at the hands of killers.
Loads of people out there now watching this and saying that you're full of shit. You don't carry out this fucking loving action every day. And you know what we should do to disprove that myth? We should both spit on each other's faces right now. to show that we don't have
Fuck's
to be
sake, I'm
angry.
not doing that. What type of an argument's that? I'm not going to spit on your face. It's disgusting.
You didn't do that in any other podcast when I requested it either. Why? What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
It shows a great
But it's
message.
about love, man. Love's the way out of this madness. Literally, consciousness has got lost from its true source, and it's created a dream that we're all born into of separation and identity and tribal mentality, and it's creating a real nightmare. We've got lost in our own nightmare
And I've
because
got
of this sense of separation.
I've got a great hack for you as well.
What?
Guys out there thinking, what the fuck? How can you get to that level of understanding where you realise that it's all a fucking stupid fucking idea to have a belief in anything and even have an opinion about it? And this is the life hack, guys. What you need to do is love the shit. Love the suffering. At the moment, you have suffering or you have something that doesn't go your way, the slightest thing, and then boom, it's all fucking no appreciation of life, no gratitude.
Embrace it.
You've got to learn to love your mental health, love your fucking bad shit. Be happy when you've had the toughest day ever and you're tired and you're hungry and all the fucking world's
That's it, yeah.
And that's the life hack. It's that simple. How can you love mental health that makes me miserable and causes me to have really bad ankles? Well, guess what? There's people out there who don't have the feeling of an ankle. You ungrateful swine.
There's thousands upon thousands of people all over the planet losing their sense of self now through what they call death. Wishing, full of regrets, wanting to go back to that one moment, to that one person that they love and let them know that they're here for them and that they love them more than anything. And they haven't got that chance now, but you're sitting there moaning about this or moaning about the world to be like that, and we're doing it right now, Craig. Let's just dance, motherfucker.
Can I just tell you this one story, right, from this prisoner who's in the prison, right? Because I used to be a prison officer a couple of years ago. I don't know if I've ever told anybody that. But don't attach any false kudos to that. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm above you. It just means I'm more confident and aggressive than you.
Get on with your story.
Let me just tell the people why I was a prison officer.
And thank you everybody for tuning in.
Milk from my tits. I'm a fat fucking pig.
I'm a common fungus.
I'm a disgruntled skunk, shoot you out my butthole.
I'm a marijuana plant, I can get you fucked up.
And I'm Kanye West. We